Have you ever wondered who the richest person in history was? It wasn't Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, or even John D. Rockefeller. The answer takes us back to the 14th century, to a man whose wealth was so vast it's described as incomprehensible. This is the story of Mansa Musa, the emperor of the Mali Empire, a man who literally had more gold than anyone could imagine. But here's the twist. Despite his unimaginable fortune, the empire he built crumbled soon after his death. Why? This is the paradox of Mansa Musa, the Golden King, who, in a way, died without a true heir to his legacy. So, how rich was he? Trying to put a number on it is almost impossible. Modern economists have tried, throwing around figures like $400 billion. But even that doesn't capture the full picture. His wealth wasn't in stocks or digital currency, it was in pure glittering gold. The Mali Empire sat on some of the world's most abundant gold deposits. For Mansa Musa, gold was as common as sand. He was the undisputed master of West Africa's gold trade, controlling the vast majority of the world's supply at the time. The empire's financial system was ingenious. It wasn't just about digging gold out of the ground. The Mali Empire controlled the trans-Saharan trade routes, the ancient highways of commerce that connected West Africa with North Africa, Europe, and the Middle East. Caravans of thousands of camels would transport not just gold, but also salt, which was so valuable it was often traded for its weight in gold. Mansa Musa's government taxed this trade, creating a steady stream of income that funded his administration, his massive army, and his ambitious architectural projects. The capital city, Timbuktu, became a legendary center of wealth, culture, and learning, attracting scholars, poets, and architects from all over the Islamic world. It was a thriving metropolis, a testament to the empire's economic might. Mansa Musa's fame exploded across the known world in 1324 when he embarked on his Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca. But this was no ordinary journey. It was a procession of such opulence that it's still talked about almost 700 years later. Imagine a caravan stretching as far as the eye can see, 60,000 men, including 12,000 attendants, all dressed in fine silks. At the front, 500 heralds carried golden staffs, and behind them, a train of 100 camels, each loaded with hundreds of pounds of pure gold dust. As he traveled, Mansa Musa gave away gold with astonishing generosity. He handed it out to the poor he met along the way. When he passed through Cairo, he gave away so much gold that he single-handedly destabilized the entire Egyptian economy. The value of gold plummeted and didn't recover for over a decade. He had literally broken the gold market just by being generous. This single act put Mali and its wealthy king on the map literally. European cartographers began drawing Mansa Musa on their maps, often depicting him on a throne, holding a golden scepter and a massive gold nugget. He had become a global legend. But this incredible display of wealth held the seeds of his empire's downfall. The pilgrimage announced to the world exactly where all this gold was coming from. It was like putting a giant X on the map for every ambitious kingdom and greedy rival. The world now knew about the riches of Mali, and they wanted a piece of it. After his triumphant return, Mansa Musa focused on transforming his empire into a center of Islamic scholarship. He brought back architects who built magnificent mosques and universities, like the legendary Sankar University in Timbuktu. Under his rule, Timbuktu became a beacon of knowledge, its libraries housing hundreds of thousands of manuscripts on law, astronomy, and literature. He was not just a rich king. He was a builder, a patron of the arts, and a devout leader. He had built an empire of both gold and intellect. So, we come to the central question. What happened? Why did this golden age end? The story gets complicated here. Mansa Musa did have children. He was succeeded by his son Magan I. But Magan lacked his father's vision, his charisma, and his iron will. He ruled for only 4 years before the throne was seized by his uncle Suleiman, Mansa Musa's brother. While Suleiman was a more capable ruler and managed to hold the empire together, the internal power struggles had begun. The foundation was cracking. The problem wasn't a biological lack of an heir, but a lack of a worthy successor who could manage such immense wealth and power. Mansa Musa was a once-in-a-generation leader. His personal magnetism and strategic genius were what held the vast, diverse empire together. His successors, whether his son or his brother, simply couldn't fill his shoes. They were managing a kingdom, but he had commanded a legend. The external pressures also mounted. Remember that pilgrimage? It had worked too well. Neighboring kingdoms, now fully aware of Mali's wealth, began to challenge its dominance. The Mossi kingdom raided Timbuktu. The Tuareg people from the north began to seize control of the crucial trade routes. To the west, the rising Songhai Empire, once a vassal state of Mali, started to chip away at its territory, eventually conquering Timbuktu itself. The Mali Empire's economy was its greatest strength and its greatest weakness. It was almost entirely dependent on two things: the control of the gold mines and the trans-Saharan trade routes. As its rivals captured key cities and trade routes, the flow of gold and taxes dried up. The very source of the empire's power was being systematically choked off. The internal squabbles among the ruling elite only made things worse, preventing a unified defense against these external threats. Within 100 years of Mansa Musa's death, the Great Mali Empire had been reduced to a shadow of its former self. So, the paradox of Mansa Musa is that his greatest act of promotion, the Haju, is also an advertisement for his empire's vulnerability. His personal brilliance was so profound that no one could follow in his footsteps. He built an empire that was too centralized around his own persona. When that persona was gone, the empire's center could not hold. He had a son, but he had no true heir to his legacy of leadership. The story of Mansa Musa is a powerful lesson from history. It shows that true, lasting power isn't just about accumulating wealth. It's about building resilient systems, fostering stable institutions, and ensuring a smooth succession of capable leadership. Mansa Musa's gold could buy influence and build cities, but it couldn't buy permanence. In the end, his legendary wealth washed away like sand, leaving behind a fascinating story of a golden king and a lost empire. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you enjoyed this story and want to explore more fascinating moments from history, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us create more content like this for you. Let me know in the comments what historical figure you'd like to learn about next. See you in the next video.